Hello everyone, it's Jill here and welcome to my craft. This year I've decided to set myself a bit of a challenge in that I'm actually going to make my Christmas cards as I go along. Yes, we're going to try anyway. So I'm going to try and set myself a bit of a challenge to do 4 each month. So I'm going to do 2 of each design, so 4 using the same stamp or die cuts, etc., but try and change them up just a little bit so that hopefully by the time I get to the end of the year I've actually got enough to send away, rather than a last minute dash trying to make 40 or something all in one go. So right, today I'm going to show you how I've made these beautiful gorgeous cards here. This is a stamp from Crafty Individuals. It's called Snow Baby, and isn't she just gorgeous? Vintage little baby. So we've got some sentiments running around here, and we can cut them off or leave them on. Here you can see I've cut one off, there I've left it on. So to start with, I will pop those out the way and I'll show you how I did them. So I've stamped onto some multifarious card, which is from Lavinia Stamp. This one I've used a black archival because I'm going to be using some Inktense pencils to colour them. So to start with, let's get going then. What are we going to do with her first? Let's start with this screen. I wanted to keep her very vintagey, just some sort of more of a muted type colours, and because it's quite a sketchy stamp, you don't have to colour exactly in the lines if you like. You can just quickly give it a bit of a quick go over. Now if you haven't used Inktense before, they go on very pale like this, and when you activate them with water they just pop into these lovely bright colours. So we don't need too much on there. It's going for that little sketchy look in line with the stamp. So that's that one. This one colour that I've got here is leaf green, and poppy red is the next one. Just pop her down like that. Oops, there. Pretty flowers. As you can see, it's really sort of looking a bit dull at the moment, but that will change. There we go. Also, you can spend a bit more time doing this. I'm just quickly trying to whiz through it just to show you roughly how I've done this. Missed, oh, there's a bit of a coat there, look, that I've missed. And a little cummerbund. So I've only used the 2 colours at the moment. Right, let's go on to the sled. Now for the sled, I've got a set of 24 Inktense, so I haven't got all the shades that I would like. So I'm just going to mix a couple of colours. I've got mustard and baked earth here. So let's start with the baked earth. Let's put that down there. And then just give it that little bit of yellowness, if you like. Put her in there. And I can see now that I've missed a little bit of a cummerbund. So let's just come back to here. That's it. Centre of the flowers are, excuse me, sun yellow. Oh, forgot her hat. There we go. And some greens down here. So I'm just going to do a mixture of apple green and field green. I'm just going to do that. And I'll pick out some little berries in a minute. With some, with some little pearls. Now for the face, I've got some ordinary watercolours here. I've got brown ochre and rose pink. Just put a very light wash on of that. Some brown ochre on the top, and it'll just give it that almost flesh tone colour. Let's come back to the brown for her hair. Right, she's ready to go. So, here's where the magic happens. Get yourself a water brush. A little cloth here just to take off any excess. Oh, excuse me. So this multifarious card does take a fair bit of water, which is what I quite like about it. Let's just get that little point. And here we go. And you can see the minute you pop your water onto there, it just brings the colour to life. Take some of that off, come back again. Gorgeous little stamp, this. Absolutely love it. Again, it's one of these stamps that I've had in my collection for eons. Used it once, loved it, put it away. Never seen the light of day again. So this year I thought, right, that's it. I'm going back in. See what I've got in my Crafty kit that I haven't used for a long time. Let's put that over there. Coat. You can see, because it's quite a nice sketchy stamp, you can just briefly swish if you like. You haven't got to be too particular. That's a knife. A little bit of hair there. And there she is. Now then, once you've done that, if you think that you'd like a bit more depth of colour, as you can see, my original one here seems to be a lot brighter than this one. So I'm going to go back over again. Just to intensify that colour in the areas that you want to pop a bit more. It's quite therapeutic colouring, I love it. Colouring for grown-ups. Right, let's just give her a bit more water. There we go. See that colour just flooding around there. It's lovely. Sorry, it's gone quiet. Oops. I'm into my craft. There we go. Now the little envelope, just just going to pull a little bit of colour. So this is another way of using your colour. You can just, oops, sorry, just colour a little bit in, and then I'm just going to pick up a tiny bit with my brush and just pop that onto the envelope because I don't really want much colour on there. But I didn't want it stark white either. So there she is, she's done. Beautiful. The blue one, I have one that I coloured earlier, and I've stamped this in again in an archival, and I've done it in cobalt, and I've already coloured her in a different colourway. So let's just get her activated, if you like. Just get those colours flowing. I don't always like to make all my cards all the same. I don't mind if they're similar but different. But with Christmas cards, I do tend to do a little bit more of, I almost think it's cheating to do them the same. But there we go. Some little socks. Quickly do over that into the little sleigh. Again, I've used the pale watercolours on for the flesh tone. A little bit of hair. There she is. Let's just give her a tiny bit more on some of these flowers. There. Just to make that pop a bit more. Brilliant. Right, so that's that done then. Let's put my water brush away. So now we've got the two here. So I'm just going to cut them down. So my little cutter here. Maybe it's slither more off of that one. Use that. Right, I'm going to cut this here, and then I'm coming in to cut it a bit shorter here, and that way I can get my sentiment off, which is the little bit that I wanted there. Brilliant. Right, let's just lose that out the way. And I'm just coming back to cut my little Let It Snow sentiment down now. There we are, that's that one done there. Right, let's pop that away then. And there we go, I've got the two there. Now then, for my base layer cards, I'm working on 5x7. And I'm going to work on this little red one first. I've matted with a piece of silver grey pearlescent here, and as you can see I've gutted. So gutting means to take out the centre part because we don't need that It's just going to go to waste, tucked around underneath our papers. So we're just going to pop that on there, and with the piece that I've cut out, sorry, from here, I'm going to mat my little snow baby on so that she can sit there. So, right, let's get going then. Stick this down, and as usual, it's the double-sided sticky tape that creates the hassle. Trying to peel that off. There we go. Right, just check. I don't think there's too much of an up and down on this one, but we'll go with this way. Put that in the centre there. Put a little topper on here. Just do it by eye, I do. There we go. And she's going to sit just there. Right, before I put her down, I'm going to do these pieces along here and the tag along here. So what I've done is I've cut that out already. I'm just going to place that there. This is a Victorian sentiment die from Spellbinders. I'm just going to place these down before I get going. I've cut another one. In fact, I cut two. And what I'm going to do is just cut these ends off. And they're what I'm going to use across the top of the card. So you don't have to use your dies as they are. You can always cut them down to make what you want from them. I'm just going to take that piece there. And then another piece here. Okay, so that's those done then. Oh, sorry, knocked my camera again. Right, let's get some glue on the go. Stick this one down first. I always use these tiny little pots, which you can buy on Amazon, eBay, etc. And with glue. I do tend to find though that whatever glue I'm using, I do tend to have to water it down just a tad, not too much, otherwise it doesn't come out the nozzle. And then just to stop all these glues squishing out from the end bits when I put it down, I'm just going to take a little bit off on the back of my hand. There we go. I'm going to pop that one just there. And then we can put her down. Again, I just go by eye. Right, see, it's just starting to lift. So what I tend to do with that, just put it underneath a block. And then similar for these things, just going to glue them up, take a bit off on the back of my hand. And then just place them down. Like so. Put that on that side, and then the one in the middle can overlap. Just helps with the spacing if you do each side first. There we go. I'm just going to put my little block down there for the moment and get rid of that glue on my hand before it picks up absolutely everything else. Now then, the good thing is I've lost the little Let It Snow sentiment, but maybe we'll come. Oh no, I haven't found it. Okay, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit of edging onto this just so that it stands out, and I haven't used an ink pad or anything. I've just used my old ink that's left over on this little dabber. Bit of ink across there. Again, let's just put that down, lose a bit there. I'm just going to put that up just slightly because I want to put some little pearly bits underneath. Just put that down there for a moment. So I'm just going to set her aside to dry now. Let's pop her over here. And we're going to have a look at the blue one. Now, once again, I've gutted. Don't want to waste all that card. And I've found some more matching background papers, which I thought were really quite nice. And I've just put a little bit of ribbon onto one side of it. I'm just going to take this off now, put that down. So when you're using the glitter, you really need to have, there we are, let's be glue, a bit of glue on there as well, because the tape doesn't hold very well on the glitter. So let's just pop a bit there, make sure that stays where it's put. Even though it's this non-shred glitter, it still has a tendency to peel apart. So I'm just put that one down there. And again, I've got a little mat that I cut out from the piece that I cut out of the middle. So it helps to spread your supplies a little bit further by doing that. Also a bit lighter if you're posting. I've tried to keep mine flat because of the cost of the postage, basically, when it comes to Christmas. And you're posting a lot of cards. Yeah, it's lovely to have all these fantastic, beautiful, raised up 3D cards, but posting them, when you're posting a lot, is a different story. So there's that one. I'm just going to put my pin in there, if you bear with me. Right, there we go. And I'm also going to do a little bit of glitter on this one. Let's just make sure my glue's flowing. Yes, it is. Let's just pop a little dot in the centre of each one. Just to add a bit more sparkle, because it is Christmas and everything. A bit along there. And I'm also going to do just a few little dots about the place. Little snowflakes. There we go. Let's bring in my piece of scrap. So, I don't know if you can see it, just adds a tiny bit of bling. Right, let's put my cards glitter back into there and put the lid on, because as we know, glitter goes absolutely everywhere. And then let's mount her onto here. There we go. There. Now for this one, I've also die cut some little embellishments. So we've got snowflakes, some winter berries, and a big snowflake. So I'm just going to pop down these individual snowflakes first. Just, oops, dot them about randomly. Just adds a nice touch to the papers in the background. There we go, that will do for those. And then these ones, so I'm just going to go, I'm not going to glue all the way up with these, I'm just going to glue up to about halfway. Okay, just take a little bit off of there. And that way it just keeps these nice ends just loose. Makes them look a little bit more natural than squishing them completely flat. And it just adds a little bit more interest down to the side of the card. And this one's fold the flakes up a minute, the edges. Pop that down there to cover the join. There we go. So that's that one. Let's lose those extras. And pop me pin in. Why aren't you going in? Right, I'll do there. Right, so now we've got to this stage with the two of them. Just going to do like the final finishing touches on them. To start with, I've got some liquid pearls. So I've got avocado, white opal and merlot. So I'm just going to pop some on here, and it just, that tiny little bit just finishes off your cards. Let's just make sure it's flowing first. There we go. And these don't add too much depth to the card, so if you're trying to keep something flat, they add a bit more interest without adding the depth, because they will dry a bit flatter. One in the middle there, on either side. You see they've got little sticky uppy bits at the minute, but we're going to tackle that in a minute. So she's having that, and probably some little pearls in amongst here. I thought I might make it look a bit like mistletoe. Just dot them about anywhere really. Right, so there she is. Now then, to get rid of that little peaked bit, if you can see the little peaked bit, just, this is quite a thick card, so I'm going to open it up and just flick it from behind with your fingernail. And that should just flatten them down. A few little peaks on these, but I'm sure it'll be alright when they're dried, those ones. And then for this little lady here, I went with, let's go with the pearls again. She's got some little pearls on her shoes, pearly buttons. And we put one in the centre of the snowflake, just to finish that off. And then I thought we'd have some holly berries on her. There we go, that's enough. So not too much, but just enough to finish it off. Again, just going to open her up. You can do it easily through the card if you've just got a single layer, but when it's double layer, it's a job to pick up the flick, if you like. And there we go. So she's done as well. So now, fantastically, I have two of this little lady and two of this little lady, ready to go into my craft box to make this Christmas a lot easier. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.